Sabah everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I have for you my review of the Garmin Speak Plus. This is a dash cam that has a built-in assistant, that has navigation, a whole bunch of different things going on, but this is intended for the car. Made by Garmin in conjunction with Amazon, obviously, that's how they have the Amazon Assistant built in. I'm going to share with you guys my experience of using this for the last few weeks and some of the things that I liked and some of the things that I did not like. Looking at the box, the actual unit is actually this small. This is the Garmin Speak Plus. There is two variants of this. The Garmin Speak does not have the built-in dash. The Plus is the one that includes that. It's a little bit more on the Amazon store, but the main benefit of it is essentially you do have both have the same thing with the Amazon Assistant. Both have the mounting and the GPS functionality using the Garmin software with the Garmin Speak, and I'll get a chance to check that out for you guys in a second. But the Plus includes the dash cam. They highlight, of course, all the different functionalities you're able to do, automation, everything that you're normally able to do with the Amazon Assistant, you're going to be able to do here. Of course, you can listen to music using the Amazon Music. You can also, check basically daily briefings, listen to audiobooks, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all of the things you're normally used to. So the contents of the box is pretty basic. We do have a really long micro USB to car adapter. This is going to be the way you're going to power it. It does power via micro USB. There is a little connector here on the right side of the camera itself. The sensor is very small. It's pretty much the size of the picture that we had, and you can see how small it is. It's intended to be very discreet, very small to use. The display is actually very small here. I'm hoping you guys could see here. There's like little, you can see how small the display. We have the ring of color that we have here that is non-movable, as well as like a little LED telling us what's going on. We have a mute as well as an initiation button here for the Amazon Assistant. On the right side, we only have the power connector for the micro USB. And then on the bottom, we have a slot for the SD card. They do provide us one in the box. It's an 8 gig SD card that comes built in, and it is a class 1. And once you have the SD cards put in, you just use the little magnetic piece that they provide you, and then it just connects, and the magnet is extremely strong. Once it's on, it's almost never going to come out. And if you do remove it, they do provide you with an additional piece so you can actually mount it in a different spot. Very small form factor. I like this. It's very discreet. Again, just keep in mind if you're taking it off the windshield after using it for about 30 minutes or so, it does get a little bit warm. So pick it up from the actual base, so the bottom here, and then pop it out. I did end up putting this away every time I parked my car, as I was always worried somebody was going to take it. It's sitting there. It's not exactly very visible, but it is tech and it is connected, and the wires hanging everywhere. They do provide you a quick guide as far as things that you could try, some questions. Last but not least, they do give you the instructions here, obviously. To be able to access the Garmin Speak app on your phone, you do need to have the actual unit itself connected and powered. Without that, it will not work. You'll notice once it's not connected, it doesn't work. The main interface is pretty simple. We have My Locations to save certain locations. You can type in an address you want to navigate to. These are the camera controls, and we'll get into them in a second. You have driver assistance or collision impact warnings. If you have these turned on, you can press them on, and the green button turns on. This will start using the front-facing sensor on this camera, which is capable of 1080p, to be able to tell you if you're getting too close to the driver in the front, you're getting too close to, let's say, a guardrail on the freeway, or even if you're accelerating or there's too much of a go alert issue. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of aggressive on the actual sensing, sometimes not exactly very accurate. Like right now, it's telling me I'm getting too close to that car in front of us, although I didn't think I was that close to it, but it actually, unfortunately, doesn't have a way of configuring the distance of the warning, but it does actually automatically do that. So again, I'm too close to the person in front of me. We do have the ability of setting up some additional options here, controlling the dash cam, of course. As far as the settings, we can configure the navigation, units, toll roads, US navigation, all of those. There is no maps installed on this. It does use internet to be able to run everything on. So just keep in mind that if we don't have an internet connection, this unfortunately will not work. You can configure the audio options as far as Bluetooth connected, and then how do you want to connect it. The camera itself is by default set to 1080p. You can go to 720 to extend the life of the SD card they give you. You can add additional data overlays as far as location, date and time, and speed, and other things. Very nice. Driver assistant, those are the things I showed you guys at the beginning. My Locations, Amazon Assistant, this is direct access to the Amazon app, and you can add additional skills if there are any that work with it. The camera itself right now, as you see, it does say recording. So if I say view gallery, actually I'm just going to say here, you can press the button for it and it'll shut off the recording and it'll stop. Once it stops, it'll actually give you a visual indication here on the ring, and then you can of course take pictures. So right there, that's that block video, and I can actually just initiate a picture. And I'm going to go into the gallery. Connecting it to the gallery switches it over to Wi-Fi direct mode, and that's what connects it directly between the two. Unfortunately, once you do that, it stops recording and all the functionalities of the Garmin Speak app stop. So you notice right there, it says not connected. And at this point, I can basically initiate, look at a video. This was a video from a few nights ago. It's connected via Wi-Fi, and I can actually scrub through it, view it, and I can save it, delete it, or share it. So a lot of nice things. Next thing, I'm going to give it a few seconds here, use the crosshair. It does actually have a video live feed through it. The reason that does this, it allows you to use the crosshairs to align this to your dash on the car. Obviously, none of this is supposed to be in the office. We are in the car. I've already mounted it. It's positioned in the right spot. The camera is facing forward. The cable management obviously has to be done afterwards once you find your best optimal place. Overall, the interface is pretty simple. You have to connect your phone to the car, and it connects to your phone to the car through your phone. I'm hoping the audio on this is pretty good right now, but the main thing you notice right there, that little green dot, that dot is essentially just telling me that how I am getting closer to that turn. So that's the visual EQ, or the visual cue that it gives us to say, hey, you're getting closer to that turn. And once it becomes a full circle, that's going to be where we make our turn. Commanding it is pretty simple, but whenever you're commanding things that are related to navigation, you always have to ask her to ask Garmin. So an example would be, Alexa, ask Garmin what's my ETA. And sometimes we'll get this error connection saying poor data, and then it says ready to go. Alexa, ask Garmin what's my ETA.
You should arrive at 7:49 a.m.
Alexa, what's my daily briefing?
Here's your flash briefing. In entertainment news.
And you'll notice that also it happens quite a bit, where you'll ask it something and it just hangs. Like it started, it recognized that it was going to start talking about entertainment news, and it just stops talking. It doesn't do anything. And I can ask it many, many times, but I haven't been able to get it to do the daily briefing on correctly. I can ask it to tell me a joke. Alexa, tell me a joke.
Did you hear about the sheep that looked like Lady Gaga? It was shorn this way.
So what's the verdict on this device? I think there's a lot of good things. I'm going to mention the good stuff. Those are the things that I liked about it. I like the form factor. I like the intuitive color ring light that's around it. I like the fact that the display is actually black and white, super simple to see, and it's very easy to see even in high contrast areas. I like the placement of the camera, the functionality, the always-on dash cam working on. The camera quality, the image on this is really good between images and video. 1080p is the maximum, but I don't think you need any more. And I like the fact that it's on all the time whenever I'm connected with it. So if I'm driving and whatever, it'll start recording video by itself. I can ask it to take a picture. A lot of cool things. And I think that's really where it kind of stopped working for me. So navigations were functional, they were really nice as long as you had an internet connection. If your network connection is a little bit flaky, guess what? It shuts off and it says network connection's not there. There's no offline map functionality there. There's no system for us to be able to kind of just say, hey, download the map area. Biggest thing that kind of got to me in the process of doing all of this is a couple of times, a couple of updates pushed through on the device. So there was an update from Garmin or from Amazon to be able to update the device, which is great. But it pushed the update in the middle of my navigation twice. It shuts off my navigation in the middle of it, and it pushes the update, and that takes about 2 to 3 minutes. If I'm driving in a place where I don't know where I'm going, I'm lost at this point. Or I have to stop my car, wait for it to finish, and hope that everything goes back to normal once the thing is done and nothing is broken. So if you're using this for navigation, just keep in mind, it needs a little bit more work. Connectivity issues and reliability between the mobile phone and the actual camera has never been a problem. They connect to each other very well as long as you're connected and your Bluetooth is turned on. So I think there's a lot of good things in here. At this point, I don't think it's ready to be used. So I don't necessarily recommend it now in the middle of March in 2018 to buy this. If you're watching this video down the road and you can see some of the reviews on Amazon saying a lot of this stuff has been fixed, you may want to try it, and for that I'll give you guys a link in the description below. But other than that, I think the Garmin Speak and the Garmin Speak Plus both have a lot of challenges. They're a really nice way to bring the Assistant or the Amazon Assistant into the car, and it does give you automation, all your normal questions and stuff like that. Those things will work if it feels like it. So just things like that. Let me know in the comments below, have you seen this? Are you aware of what the Garmin Speak or the Garmin Speak Plus are? And, give me your opinion. Do you think this is a cool thing? Do you want to try it out? Or would you just say, nope, pass, I don't really need this in my life? Like and subscribe as usual. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.